Europe's, France's exploitation of Africa coming to an end. How can France avoid a collapse? A seismic shift in Africa's geopolitical and business landscape. As France's long-standing grip on Francophone Africa crumbles, the question is, can French companies survive without the shadow of Paris? And who's stepping in to fill the void? Welcome to VlogND, I'm Sal Pier. Across the Sahel and beyond, Africa is turning the page. Once deeply tied to France through a decades-long web of military, economic, and diplomatic influence known as Francafrique, many nations are now walking away and fast. Countries like Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and Chad have not only pushed out French troops but are also rethinking old economic partnerships. With mounting public and political pressure, France's entire Africa strategy is being called into question. One of the most striking examples is in Niger. French nuclear giant Orano, formerly known as Areva, was forced to shut down operations at its Arlit uranium mine last year. The reason? Border closures after Niger's 2023 coup, government silence, and worsening relations. In 2024, Niger's military government went a step further, revoking Orano's license for the massive Imararan deposit, one of the world's largest known uranium reserves. This isn't just about minerals, it's about sovereignty and who controls Africa's resources moving forward. Shout out to our dear subscribers. To our non-subscribing friends, your support is as valuable. If you can take a second to hit the subscribe button, that will be fantastic. President Emmanuel Macron has tried to reset France's approach. His Africa-France partnership plan, launched in 2023, promises mutual investment and solidarity instead of paternalistic aid. But for many African leaders, the era of Paris-centered policy is already over. And it's not just uranium. From telecom to infrastructure, energy to public works, French firms that once dominated are now being sidelined. In Senegal, France closed its last military base in July, marking the end of a visible presence in West and Central Africa. French corporate insiders admit their dominance was always more perception than reality. Countries like Canada and Australia, with giants like Barrick Gold, have been eating into mining contracts for years. Now, China, Turkey, Russia, and even Germany are stepping in, offering new deals sometimes opaque but increasingly welcomed by African governments eager to diversify. What's emerging is a new scramble, but this time, Africa is setting the terms. French companies still operating in Africa are being forced to change strategies. Instead of going it alone, they're forming joint ventures, local partnerships, and even registering under African legal frameworks to reduce visibility and political backlash. Energy giant TotalEnergies is already pivoting, looking for opportunities in Angola, Namibia, South Africa, and Kenya. But the competition there is fierce, and the historical advantages France once enjoyed are gone. With France's neo-colonial legacy under fire, it's not just governments that are being held to account, it's the companies too. The question now isn't whether they can adapt, but whether they can earn back trust and legitimacy in a rapidly changing Africa. However, France seems to be less interested in engaging in Africa due to their loss of control. France walks away. As jihadist violence surges across West Africa, a French minister has made it clear this is no longer Paris' problem. What does that mean for the region, and who's stepping in to fill the vacuum? In a statement that has sent shockwaves across diplomatic and security circles, France's junior minister for Francophonie and international partnerships, Thani Mohamed Soilihai, declared bluntly this past Friday that West Africa's worsening insecurity is no longer France's concern. Speaking during a press briefing while in South Africa for the G20 development meetings, the minister responded to growing concerns over the jihadist insurgency in the Sahel and France's military drawdown. His words were clear: "I'm sorry to say, but it no longer concerns us." And with that, the message from Paris is official: France is done playing security guarantor in its former colonies. It's a stunning pivot for a country that, for decades, wielded military might across the region, intervening in coups, fighting jihadists, even propping up governments on the brink. Between 2022 and 2025, France pulled troops from Mali, Burkina Faso, Niger, and more recently, Chad, a strategic ally that suddenly ended its military pact with France in November. In just a few years, France has gone from operating a sprawling network of military bases in the region to having no formal security presence in West or Central Africa. The timing couldn't be more alarming. Over the past 2 months, jihadist attacks have surged, making this period one of the deadliest in the Sahel's modern history. Millions have been displaced. Economies are crumbling. The violence is now threatening the coastal nations of West Africa. Yet Paris, once quick to send troops under the banner of regional stability, has stepped back. It's not just a military withdrawal, it's a full strategic reset. France says it's now focused on building relationships that aren't based on boots on the ground. Minister Mohamed Soilihi said, "We continue to deal with countries that so wish, but France won't respond to security problems where the relationship no longer exists. With France gone, a vacuum has opened." The United States, Russia, Turkey, and China are all exploring ways to increase their influence in the region. Some African nations are turning inward, forging regional alliances or seeking partnerships on their own terms. But without a cohesive security framework, the danger is clear: the insurgency could metastasize beyond the Sahel. What began as a military rethink by Paris has now become a defining moment for West Africa. Will regional powers rise to the challenge? Or will the world watch from the sidelines as chaos spreads? For VlogND, I'm Sal Pier. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like and share the video. Stay informed, stay engaged.